God gives us all kinds of teaching and instruction, and he does so through stories.
All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Chinook Podcast.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Who knew? It's a good day. It's a 10-degree November day.
Or 10? Oh,
Yeah, it's supposed to be 10
supposed to get up
out.
there.
Oh, that's practically
That's like spring.
that's
Like it's going to get rid of all our snow.
all of my trouble too.
All of your troubles, too. Excellent.
And here we are on Chinook Podcast
Yeah.
talking about warm winds.
Yes, and 10 degrees. Okay, you know that you live in an unfortunately cold place when 10 degrees is balmy. That's like the abuse victim that says, well, he's not hitting me now. That's the Albertan relationship with weather.
So this is my third fall in the Grand Prairie region, and the first two falls I've been out here. The first one was 10 years ago, and that was minus 40 out, and then the second one was last year, and that was I think it was negative 30 by the time we got to this point in November.
Yeah, something like that. We're having a real nice stretch.
El Nino, lovely person.
Let it be. Or could it be global warming? Let's have it. Let's have it.
Yeah.
More.
I'm gonna buy I got to get my diesel truck running. I'm gonna roll some coal. I voted for global warming. I insist on having it. All right, so we're in a jolly mood, largely because we were just reading people's mean tweets that they were sending to Pastor Nathan about Doug Wilson. So prior to recording,
okay. So let's introduce ourselves and then we'll proceed. I'm Jamie Souls. I'm an elder here at Christ Covenant Church, and I'm delighted to share this podcast today with Brad Donovan. Mm-hmm. Brad Donovan is also an elder here, and our pastor, Nathan Zekveld. We are the Chinook Podcast. It's our desire to see the Spirit of God at work in Western Canada, warming up the frozen prairies. And we have been in the midst of a walk through Genesis. Mm-hmm. We intended to do a flyover of Genesis.
The plane crashed.
I discovered that a flyover of Genesis is actually possible. Because Jeremy Gardner did one last night.
He did, yeah.
He did it, and he managed.
In 45 minutes.
And it worked well. So, our plane doesn't go that high.
No, our plane has crashed, and now we walk.
Yes. So we are back in Genesis. We are in about chapter 20. But before we get there, we should do book reviews.
We should.
I have a book that I don't know if I can review it all that well, except to say to you that I remember this book fondly. I remember reading through the essays in it. It's called Punic Wars and Culture Wars, Christian Essays on History and Teaching by Ben House. And I remember one of the important early ones, the title really caught my eye, The Importance of Being Irrelevant. That's one of his headings. The importance of being irrelevant. I am
safely irrelevant.
I think really what he's after there is that you're not so much up to date on the latest Twitter thing or the latest whatever, but you do read deeply. That's really what he's after.
Yep. I remember
that was a very good book.
That is a good book. I should probably revisit it.
Yeah.
I remember I actually got a signed copy.
Yeah.
From Mr. House himself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I visited the Texarkana Church.
Right.
Way back in the way back.
And he was in it.
Yeah, he was. He was one of the teaching elders there. So I got a signed copy. And so did my brother-in-law, Jeremy.
All right.
Yeah. So those are probably worth an extra, couple of dollars on the resale market.
Okay, I've got a book suggestion as well. Rules for Reformers by Douglas Wilson. Yes. I have that on Kindle now because Douglas Wilson every year in November gives free books on Kindle.
How dare he?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and then his wife
guy.
makes all sorts of like waves,
Crazy comments about. Yeah. Anyway.
disciplining children. Oh, let the hate roll. Yes.
The hate roll. Anyway, that we were going to debate about that, but then we figured we'd let the Americans fight their own fights.
Yeah.
So
They're having good fun down there.
Yes.
November cannot pass without us being deeply amused.
Anyway,
somewhat amazed.
rules for reformers. I would encourage every ministerial to read this book together. I would encourage every elders group to read this book together, and deacons, and just read the book and think about, okay, what are the principles for how you want to seek reformation in your city. It's got a lot of good stuff about who to make alliances with. The difference between alliances and fellowship. There's all kinds of cool stuff in this book.
The distinction between a co-belligerent and an ally. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is a very big deal, especially when you're a Christian and you don't want to compromise your theological beliefs. Anyway.
Oh, it's fantastic. That's a good recommendation. So my recommendation today. Now, I wasn't sure if I'd recommended this one before, but I think I haven't. I think I recommended a British Rifleman Journal and Correspondence during the Peninsular War by Major George Simmons. So today, it's one of the companion volumes in the Greenhill Books Napoleonic Library collection by William Surtees. 25 years in the Rifle Brigade is what it's called. So this fellow fought in the 95th Rifles in the Peninsular Campaign under Wellington. The years are 1809 to 1814, and then he fought in the expedition to Louisiana that was immortalized in that Johnny Horton song.
In 1814, we took a little trip.
That one. Yeah. So
yes.
This guy was on the opposite end of that firefight.
He was running down the
Yes, with an alligator with a
so
powder
fast
behind.
that a rabbit couldn't go.
Yeah, that's not actually what happened. So William Surtees, his depiction of the firefight down in Louisiana is a lot different than the song.
I imagine.
Yeah, quite a bit different. But they do agree on one thing, that the British lost the fight. So this fellow, he's interesting on a number of fronts. One, he's a very lucid writer. He's easy to read and to enjoy. His descriptions are vivid. There's a couple of points where they're wandering across the Portuguese countryside looking for food because they're starving, and the French have burned or taken everything. And it's raining, and there's lightning crashes, and they're wandering through a mountain pass with no shoes on their feet. And his description, you can feel like you're there. Like it's that good. And then you think to yourself, man, this guy went through that multiple times. But so he's very lucid, very clear, very easy to read. Another thing that I find interesting in this book is that in the middle of this Peninsular War, he gets saved. And he's very, very open about, I lived a sinful life and now I've received forgiveness. Mm-hmm. Right, the guilt is gone. Yay for Jesus, right? Like it's really great. It's really marvelous. There's a section where it reminds a man of Augustine's Confessions, where he's lamenting his previous life of wickedness, right? But no, it's.
But he's in the Rifle Brigade.
Yeah, he's in the 95th, and so he. If you've ever seen the Sharp movies or read the Sharp books, Patrick Cornwall, they're fictionalizations of the 95th.
Okay.
Through the Peninsular War.
Peninsular, is that like
Spain and Portugal?
Spain, Portugal.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
When under Wellington, in particular, so they took back Portugal from the combined Spanish-Franco army,
right,
and then wound up fighting the French back and forth across Spain. So the historically, it's interesting. I love history. I could go on forever about it, but also spiritually, he's a man who, in the middle of a war, in the middle of a campaign, marching hither, yon, and to and fro, comes to the Lord. So, well worth reading.
What's the man's name?
William Surtees.
Surtees.
Yes, Surtees.
Look at that.
Yeah, and then
Surtees.
he actually served in Nova Scotia for a bit after the Louisiana campaign, and then he retired. He cashiered out of the army due to bad health, and then died at the age of 48 because of that bad health. He, which was largely a result of wandering across Spain, getting shot at by Frenchmen.
Sounds like an interesting book.
Yes,
I should get it.
You want to borrow it?
Yeah, sure.
I'll put my name in it. Yeah, I got my name in it. There you go. All right,
Nice.
It's also hardback, so you can. Yeah, it's great. No, that read is just phenomenal. And if you're familiar with that history at all, it really does add color and life to your understanding. Anyway,
Cool.
Genesis 20.
We are in Genesis 20. Abraham and Abimelech. Okay, now
We
we're
might
just-
make it to Genesis 22 this time.
Yeah, I
possibly.
hope so. At least we do need to be careful that we don't deep dive in some of these areas. I've done many a deep dive into Jacob, and he's yet to come. So I'll have to restrain myself. I think.
Well, it's not a fault for an elder to nerd out in Genesis. Come on,
Oh, there you go.
it's not a fault.
No,
More people.
not a
Okay.
disciplinable offense.
No,
So
no.
let's set some context here.
Okay, so Abraham.
Abraham is in the land. He's gone through the whole Lot episodes.
Yep.
Sodom and Gomorrah has just happened. Okay, it's just done.
They're crispy toast.
It says the smoke. He looked out and saw the smoke was going up like a furnace out of the valley. And we find out that in the beginning of chapter 20, Abraham moves.
Yes.
He packs up and goes. And he moves into the territory of the Philistines at that time. Their leader seems to be the inherited name of the leader is Abimelech, because every time you run across Philistia in the early times before David's time, their leader was Abimelech.
Yeah, it could have been a royal name.
Yeah, I think it was a royal name, and there was also he had an army commander, I think Phicol, who was the same thing. It was also an inherited name. Maybe he was the Phicol. Not sure. Okay, now in this story, the promise of the seed has been given. Okay, and it's going to be through Sarah, Abe. It's not going to be. It's not going to be through Hagar. It's not going to be through some machination of your own. Says God, I'm going to open Sarah's womb. And he just told that to Abe
Just before the
like
destruction.
a week ago
Yep.
when before he moves down to Philistia. It was not a long time.
Sarah's over 90. Her womb is dead, and God is gonna
Yes.
give her a child.
Yeah, so we're
But
just after that promise.
You know, I've wondered often how Sarah held her beauty that long. Because if you remember,
Yeah,
she's 90. And she comes into Philistia with her husband.
Yep.
And Abe is still concerned to say, okay, well, she's my sister. Because, well, remember why he did this when he went into Egypt, if you remember.
Right.
He was afraid that Pharaoh
Would do what Pharaoh did.
would do what Pharaoh did.
Right.
He figured that Pharaoh was going to kill him and take her.
Yep.
yeah.
And I think his assessment was right.
Yep. Given
and
Pharaoh's behavior.
Abe is a pretty trustworthy judge of character.
Yeah,
and he does the same here in Philistia.
Yeah, so Abimelech, it says in verse 2, and Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah.
Yes.
So he did exactly what
Yes.
Abe said he would.
He sent and took her, and she's like 90. I don't think she told him.
No.
Maybe she did. Maybe she's like Arwen.
Yeah. I don't know.
There you go.
Maybe that's where Tolkien got that idea.
Maybe so.
I don't know how that even works, but
Okay.
praise
so
God.
the promise of the seed is has been given, and here we see in this story a strategy of the enemy in trying to steal the seed, trying to gain control, trying to be the father, as it were. And here's Abimelech. Abimelech thinks he's operating on his own. He's really operating under the rule of the serpent,
Yep.
because he's doing what the serpent wants done.
Yeah, he's attacking the
He's
the
attacking
offspring.
the bride.
Yep.
Okay, so he takes the bride with the intent of taking her into his harem. And so that whole theme is going on in chapter 20
Yeah.
in
And
Genesis.
then you get this where he takes Sarah, and then it says, "But God came to Abimelech by a dream at night." And I find it. This is something I find prophetically or typologically comforting, is that the bride is always defended by God. Right, in the New Testament context, that's the church. God does defend his church.
Yeah.
And so this is a very comforting doctrine that we can get from this passage. And I love what God says to Abimelech.
Says, you're dead.
Yeah, behold, you are a dead man. And Abimelech's like, whoa. And here's another thing: is he doesn't blame a bad dinner and indigestion for this dream. He's like, no, God just told me I'm a dead man.
Yeah.
Right? He's well aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's like, oh, okay. I'll hand her back.
Yeah. I wonder if Abimelech is on edge because he's a neighbor to Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah,
He's not that far off.
Yeah, and Abraham is associated with Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yes. And surely the word had gotten round about Abe's visit with those guys before they went down. Anyone who was doing any detective work or sleuth work might have discovered Abe talked to those guys, and the next day the place was destroyed.
Yeah,
And
something's
Abe's got some kind of connection with this God of his that's really big and really dangerous. And
right. So I think there's probably some truth to that, actually.
Well, it's interesting how God shows him grace and Abimelech grace in verse 6, because there in verse 6, God says to him, "Yes, I know that you have done this in the integrity of your heart, and it was I who kept you from sinning against me. Therefore, I did not let you touch her.
Yep.
Now then, return the man's wife."
Yeah, because Abimelech, he said he talks to the Lord.
Yeah.
He talks back. He says, "Lord, will you kill innocent people?" You're probably right. He's probably thinking about Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
He's like, well, he just did that
Yeah.
over there.
Will you kill innocent people?
Yeah. Like, am I?
Abe was asking the same question, right?
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Earlier with the angels.
Yep.
Or with the Lord when he's doing his negotiations. He was asking the same thing.
Yep. For 50.
And then he gets him down.
Yep. So Abimelech's almost in Abram's position
Yeah.
in the previous story.
Yeah.
Yeah, which he's negotiating with God, and this is
It
marvelous.
is interesting.
Yeah, and then God is gracious to him. I kept you from sinning.
Yeah.
You know.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he's like, now therefore return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, so that he will pray for you and you shall live. But if you do not return her, know that you shall surely die, you and all who are yours.
Right.
So this is a national catastrophe for Abimelech.
It is.
Yeah.
And when Abe prays for him in the end of the chapter, it says that God healed Abimelech and also healed his wife and female slaves so that they bore children.
So
God had done something in that midst. You know, I remember preaching through this. God absolutely loves Sarah.
Yeah.
He just loves her. She's a favorite of his. And he goes to her defense again and again. And here, Here it's the same way. You mess with Sarah, I'm going to mess with every woman in your camp.
Yep.
And preemptively, he does it. You know, I kept you from doing this, but
You still noticed effect.
yeah,
Yeah, because it says in verse 17 when Abram prayed to God, that God healed Abimelech. So Abimelech knows something's wrong with him, whatever it is, a disease or impotence or something. And then he heals his wife and female slaves so that they could bear children.
yeah,
Yeah. This was something that Abimelech noticed.
yes,
He knew. He was like, oh. I also like the fact that God's like, and Abram will pray to me for you, and I'll listen to him.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. He's like, you're going to give her back, and he's going to pray to me for you.
yes.
And then Abram does it, and then God honors the prayer, and Abimelech's probably sitting there like, whew, close call.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. And then I wonder if at any point Abram or Sarah was like, Pharaoh down in Egypt. Yeah. Same deal, buddy. Like, not so bright. But yeah, it's that whole thing.
Yeah. The response of Abimelech when he blames Abe for everything.
Yeah, he does.
Right?
What did you do?
What did you do? What have you done? That's always happening
Yes.
with these enemies,
These pagans.
these pagans. That's they blame the righteous.
Yep.
They blame them.
For their own sin.
Yes.
Yep.
If you get blamed by pagan folk for something, that they are doing,
Yeah.
we see that all the time these days.
Just calm down.
Yeah, just
Relax.
calm down.
It's okay.
But recognize what's going on.
Yep.
Don't agree with Abimelech.
Right. Yeah. Don't
You know, and this is a great evangelical problem and reform problem. They have problems with this too.
Yep.
We look at Abram askance, and we say, well, and we agree with Abimelech and say, yeah, well, what have you done? It's all your fault.
Yep.
Well, no, it's not. No. You side with the right people. Okay. Don't take up. Don't learn your catechism from Esau. Don't learn your catechism from Abimelech. Learn it from Abram.
Yep.
He's the one who's the truth teller.
Yeah. And it's interesting what he says. Abram is like, he says, I did this because I thought there is no fear of God at all in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife.
Yeah.
First off. So again, we see Abe's assessment of the people is spot on, just like with Egypt. And then he says, besides, she is indeed my sister, the daughter of my father, though not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. Okay, so this is also, again, he's telling the truth. And he said, and when God caused me to wander from my father's house, I said to her, this is the kindness you must do to me at every place to which we come. Say of me, he is my brother. So Abram points out, we've been doing this for a while.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, this wasn't just a spur of the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm panicking. What am I going to do?
No.
Oh, she's my sister.
Yeah, this is a plan.
No, they've thought about this.
Yeah.
They planned this long before any of those happenings.
And when you look at Egypt 25 years earlier or 20 years earlier, same scenario and same result.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting. Who does God judge? He judges Abimelech for this whole situation. He doesn't judge Abraham.
Yeah, he
and I
judges
think that's
Abimelech.
a very important observation.
Yes. Also, a thing important to note in this passage is the precursor to Israel going down to Egypt.
Yep.
There's a precursor, and it happened when Abe actually went down to Egypt earlier and came out with a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep.
And now he goes into Philistia.
And he comes out with.
And the bride gets captured.
Yep.
The leader, the same thing happens to Abimelech as happened to Pharaoh. And in order to set things right, Abimelech gives Abe a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so both of these are precursors to what's supposed to happen to Israel later. Israel's going to go into captivity, but when she comes out, she's going to bring a whole lot of spoil with her.
Yep.
Happens every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's an amazing thing.
Yeah, you've got this sheep and oxen, male and female servants. Behold, my land is before you. Dwell where you please. Right, so it's open now. Wherever you want to settle, do that. And then 1,000 pieces of silver as a sign of your innocence in the eyes of all who are before you. Mm-hmm. So it's like a bond or a certification.
Yeah.
You are innocent of any evil. Like Abimelech is over the top with his gift giving.
Yeah.
To placate Abram and Abram's God.
Yes,
and
he is.
Egypt, like you said, does the same thing. Remember when the ark was captured in 1 Samuel 4, I think, and when they returned the ark, they returned it with gold,
right?
Like tumors, which that's weird. But
they made golden casts of their hemorrhoids. It's just weird.
Yeah. How did you? I want to know the mechanics of how you cast a hemorrhoid. But anyway, so a rat I get, but a hemorrhoid I don't. But anyway, so. But they return spoil, right? You always after every captivity there is spoil. Even when they return to the land during the time of the Persians. The Persian kings send them back.
With a bunch of stuff.
A bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So
so let's move along. The promised son finally is born. The Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did to Sarah as he promised, and Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the time of which God had spoken to him.
It's interesting how this is written out, though, because chapter 20 ends off with the line, "For the Lord had closed all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abram's wife." Then immediately God continues to opening up the womb of Sarah. So there's something, I think the way it's written and the chapter division probably doesn't capture the beauty of how the narrative is being laid out.
Right.
But it is important to think in terms of the bigger categories. What is God doing?
Yes. Yeah.
What is God doing? If you remember, when Adam fell into sin, and there was separation between man and God, and it was a separation that man could not fix. And God started at that point to show pictures of a Messiah who would come, who would fix things. Okay? And his way of doing so was first, after the flood, when he chose Abram, and he starts talking to Abram. And he makes great promises to Abram because he's intending for this not just to be a personal me and Jehovah thing. It's not just Abe and Yahweh. It's going to be a family. He's going to have a family. He's going to have children. And they're going to have children, and they're going to have children, and eventually there's going to be a nation. So that God is related not just to that individual, but he's related to the nation as a whole, and he's using that nation as a light to the Gentiles. That's what he said in the prophets. That was his purpose. That was Israel's purpose, was to be a light to the Gentiles. And ultimately that pointed to Christ, who was going to win the world. So anyways, this is early setup of that great happening. So Isaac is born. Ishmael gets sent away.
Yeah, this is something. Because Isaac's name means laughter.
Yes.
And in verse 6, Sarah, she says, God has made laughter for me. Everyone who hears will laugh over me. Right? And then they, 8 days later, circumcise Isaac, and they throw a party. Right?
Yeah.
It's a divine comedy.
It is. And the child grew and was weaned. Okay, so on the day that Isaac was weaned, they throw a party. So this is a few months later after he's, got solid food down. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, laughing. It's very interesting to me. So she says, this is laughter, the son, Isaac is laughter. Then she sees someone laughing. over him, and immediately she gets angry. And I'm like, well, but that's what you said he was for. He was for laughing. Sarah, make up your mind. So there's something more going on here.
Sarah was a good reader of patterns. She would have loved James Jordan.
Oh, quite. And we know that James Jordan just loves patterns. So she says to Abraham, "Cast out this slave woman with her son.
Yeah.
For the son of this the son of this slave woman, not even your son, husband, but the son of this slave woman, shall not be heir with my son Isaac." And then Abram, he's very displeased.
Yes.
Right. But then God speaks to him, "Do not be displeased because of this boy and because of your slave woman. Whatever Sarah says to you, do as she tells you, for through Isaac shall your offspring be named. And I will make a nation of the son of the slave woman also because he is your offspring." So there is a promise to Ishmael,
Yeah.
but it's not the same level of promise.
Yes, it's not the covenant promises that the covenant is going to be kept through him. That's not he's not in the center of that. But there still is blessing promised
Yeah.
to Ishmael. You know that modern Muslims still regard Abram as a prophet,
Yeah.
and they see themselves as the heirs of Ishmael.
Right. Because especially the Arabs.
And so they think that the story is corrupted because Ishmael was really the good guy. Okay, there's something about that goes on.
Yeah.
I've heard that argued against recently that
Okay.
that they're actually connected to Ishmael. Apparently, one Muslim scholar looked into it and he said, no, we're actually not connected by blood to Ishmael.
Oh, interesting.
So anyway,
Okay.
random side fact.
Because that is a fairly traditional interpretation.
It is, yeah, and generally speaking, I would be like, yeah, it seems like there's a pretty clear connection to Ishmael.
Yeah, and
Right.
I mean Ishmael, he's a wild donkey of a man, and his hand shall be against his brothers,
Yeah.
and that's every Arab nation I've ever heard of.
Yes.
They're always fighting somebody.
Yep.
Yeah, especially their nearest of kin. So, you never know.
So when God promises Abraham, through your seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, that would mean that Ishmael, the nation of Ishmael, would be blessed through the nation of Isaac.
Yeah, which is part of the promise in Christ that's fulfilled when you start seeing Ishmael descendants
Turn to Christ.
turn to Christ.
Yeah. Anyway.
So now we've got the story of Hagar and Ishmael in the wilderness where God comes to her, and where God actually promises to him to make him a great nation, and so it says in verse 21, he lived in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took a wife for him from the land of Egypt. So she went back to her home country to find him a wife.
Yeah.
And then we get back to Abimelech and Phicol.
Yes, and there's this.
There's this.
There's a treaty over a well.
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, Abe is trying to establish. He's establishing himself in the land. Abe was always a builder of altars.
Yep.
Right, that was something that Abe was famous for. He would build an altar, and that altar would be a center of the worship of Yahweh in the land. But of course, you need water to make the world go round.
Yep. You got to drink something.
You can't do without it.
Yep. Especially where he is. I mean,
Right.
he's in southern Israel. He's in the northern regions
So
of the
he's
Negev.
in the south. He's bordering Philistia, or he's in Philistia, or Philistia is sort of kind of included in the southern marches of
where
Israel.
he is. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of desert-ish.
Yeah. So Abe and Abimelech make this treaty. It's a treaty that Abe may have meant to keep, but the Philistines didn't. We discover later that they go and fill in all those wells. Seems really counterproductive to me, but they did that. Okay, so there are substantial theological things that happen in the Sarah versus Hagar thing that show up in Galatians, right?
Oh, yes, yes.
Remember that?
These two are an allegory.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how the promise was going to come through Sarah and not through Hagar, and Hagar allegorically is
The Old Covenant Israel.
Old Covenant Israel. So there's really interesting things that Paul does theologically with these passages, and what happens theologically isn't necessarily what happens in the actual working through the event. Okay? Here's Ishmael. He's laughing. He's laughing. He's 16. Isaac is 3.
Yep.
He's big brother.
Yep.
He's fooling around with little brother
Yep. He's just
and
laughing.
making him laugh.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, it doesn't. It says in Galatians, as the older one persecuted
Right.
the younger.
Galatians 4,
It does say
verse
that in
29.
Galatians.
So,
That
then
it's,
we are supposed to understand this laughter in that context.
we're supposed to understand the laughter in the context that Sarah saw.
Yeah.
We're supposed to see it that way. But I don't think it was lived out that way.
Well, maybe it was because of her reaction.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder about that. Maybe.
It seems like Paul's saying that a type of persecution actually was happening there.
Yeah, he does seem to say that.
And so little Isaac probably would have been 3 or 4 years old by the time he was weaned, and his older brother Ishmael.
Again, a young teenager. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe there was jealousy that was there because he knew that he was the child of the flesh, and Isaac was the child of the promise.
That
Yeah.
may be the case.
And the thing too is that Sarah's response was like direct. So whether or not
Well, Abe was really distressed about it, though.
Yeah, he was.
Abe clearly didn't see what Sarah saw.
he didn't, but Sarah saw something, right? And so her reaction is very immediate. So I'm wondering if maybe even she was understanding something that Abram wasn't until God spoke to him in his vision.
Yeah.
And said to him, "Hey, this is what's actually going on. Deal with it.
Right.
Like, take care of it. Do what your wife says."
Yeah.
Which I find very interesting. How often in the scriptures do you have a prophet being told by God, "Listen to your wife"?
Well, it does happen with Sarah a lot because, like I said, I really think God has such a soft spot in his heart for Sarah.
Yep.
Because she seems to see things.
Yep. That other people.
She seems to see things on this this level that's like she's seeing typology. She's seeing symbolism going on, and she's reading it rightly when others around aren't.
right.
And God likes that.
Yeah.
He really likes her.
Yeah, there's something going on. I mean, and you've also got this laughter, right? Because she had laughed when the angel messenger first said, "You're going to have a son," and she's like, I'm dead. My womb is shriveled up. Come on, get real. And so she's got this. There's this theme of laughter, but clearly she's picking something up. She's getting something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Paul is getting at it in Galatians.
Yes. Next story.
Yeah. So Abimelech.
Next story. After Abimelech. After this.
Chapter 22.
In chapter 22, now we come to the time when Isaac is a young fellow. He's probably 13-ish. Old enough to carry a bunch of wood, young enough to not be told what's going on.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
He's somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
So this business of Abe and Isaac go out. I doubt Abe told Sarah. I really doubt it.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it too.
I really doubt it.
I bet you after they got home after this event, Mom was like, "So where did you go?" "Oh, Dad just went to sacrifice me." "What?"
Yeah.
You said you were going camping.
Well, and you hear the bewilderment in Isaac's voice in 7 and 8. And Isaac said to his father Abraham, "My father." And he said, "Here I am, my son." He said, "Behold, the wood and the fire, but where is a lamb for a burnt offering?" That's confusing.
Yes.
Abraham said, "God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering, my son."
Abe says one of these cryptic sort of things.
Yes, God will
and
provide.
Isaac is still left thinking, what?
Yeah.
Like,
And he's old enough to know that he needs a burnt offering.
yeah,
He knows that we need this.
yes,
We're going up the mountain to sacrifice, which
Yes.
again, this is the mountain that later becomes
the temple,
the
one,
Temple Mountain. Yeah.
right?
So they're going up this mountain, and Isaac is old enough to know we need a sacrifice.
Yeah,
And Abraham's like, the Lord will provide. I said, okay. Well, carry on then.
and they get up there and they set up the altar.
Yep.
And they
Laid the wood in order.
laid the wood.
Yep. And then bound Isaac, his son, and laid
Isaac
him on.
must have been looking the other way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I've wondered about this because it's one of those stories where if you just read this and you think about it in terms of trauma
right.
or the way they interact with one another, this looks like a really traumatic experience for Isaac to me,
Yeah.
like terribly so.
Yep.
But there's no.
But that's not the focus, and that's
No.
not Paul's focus either.
No,
because
it
when
isn't.
Paul looks back at this and he's developing his theology in the New Testament, it's all about Abe. Well, it is even here, right? How Abe is promised, well, because you've not held your son, with your only son from me, therefore I'm going to do this and this and this and this for you.
Right.
And Paul builds on that about the faith of Abraham.
Yeah. And,
It just seems to me that there's a dark side in this.
well, and that
And I
can seem
think it
normal.
works out later.
Possibly. But
I think so.
here's another thing to consider, though, is that the Father did not withhold his son
Yeah,
Yes.
on the cross. So
exactly.
we understand that this is a typological
And it's foreshadowing Christ.
of Christ, and the whole "you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me,"
Yeah.
and then the sacrifice is provided, and then the Lord calls to Abraham a second time from heaven, and then he because you have not withheld your son, I will surely bless you, and I will surely multiply your offspring as the stars of the heaven and the sand on the seashore. And your offspring shall possess the gates of his enemies.
Right.
And in your offspring shall all nations of the earth be blessed because you obeyed my voice. So then you get to Christ, where the Father does not withhold his son,
Yeah.
and
And
these
the son goes willingly.
willingly.
And all the nations become his inheritance.
Yes. And
Yes.
so I'm wondering if Isaac, because it just says that he was bound and set on the altar.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that Isaac struggled or fought.
No, it doesn't say so.
I'm wondering if the first son didn't also go willingly,
Yeah.
because I know the second did.
Yeah. I
I wonder about that.
it's the later doings of Isaac
Right.
that make me wonder
If he didn't quite get it.
if maybe he didn't actually get this.
It could be.
Because later on, and we'll get into this shortly, I think, later on you find Isaac as he's the son of promise, but he gets married. He marries Rebekah.
Yep.
And they have these two children, and then Jacob comes on the scene, and Jacob's huge in the Bible. You know, I said earlier that Israel is the most. Another time I said Israel is the most common name in the Bible. Well, that's the name given to Jacob.
Yep.
Jacob is the second most common name in the Bible.
Yep.
So he's a real towering character.
Yes.
But Isaac, it doesn't get a lot of focus.
But in the Jacob story, the focus that we get of Isaac
is that he's old and blind.
is that he's old and he's blind in more ways than one.
Yes.
Because he seems like he's dead set on giving the blessing to Esau that he was supposed to give to Jacob.
Right.
Now, something created that in Isaac. Why is faithful Isaac trying to subvert God's covenant people?
I don't know.
Why is he trying to do this? What could make that come to bear? What can make that come to pass? And I think it has to do with some of these earlier stories, and not least
This one.
this one.
That could
Because Isaac sees here that, well, let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about the Ishmael story. Isaac is 3 years old. Ishmael is 16. Isaac wakes up one day and there's no more big brother. He's gone. And I think he loved big brother.
Yep.
That's what I think went on. And that he kind of revered big brother and looked up to big brother. I suspect that that's the case. But he learns as he grows older that Ishmael was sent away because mom got nervous about this and dad sent her away, and God told him to send Isaac away, and it didn't seem, they didn't ask Isaac.
Yeah.
But it was probably a blow to him, little boy. Now he's left with his parents, and they're as old enough to be his great grandparents, and he's raised up by these people, and they grow old before his eyes, and then comes this episode when Isaac is probably 13 or so.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah.
And
Dad's ancient.
Dad's ancient.
Yeah.
And Dad takes him up on the mountain and brings out his knife and ties him up, and God told him to. Okay. Well, there's this collusion thing that he sees. They're going on between Dad, who seems sort of like a fanatic to me, and Yahweh, who's telling him to do these things.
Right.
Well, it was Yahweh's idea that the second inherit and that the first not.
Yeah.
Well, I think that Isaac had developed, by the time he got married to Rebekah, I think he had developed a firm notion in his mind that was not really the way things should be.
That could be.
I think he had developed the notion that the older really should be the inheritor, and
so he
and in my house, that's how it's going to work.
That could very well be.
I think that's what happened. I don't know. Some of these earlier stories, if you read them in that way, you can come to that conclusion.
Yep.
But the New Testament points to those, and it doesn't look at that as an interpretation, because it's not trying to answer the question of why
Isaac did.
Why did Isaac? Why did he fight so hard against God's promise that he knew of?
Right, and the New Testament is really focused on the faithfulness of Abraham.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
In a big way, and it's also focused on the faithfulness of God.
Yeah.
In keeping His promises. So it's not, Isaac is not really mentioned in the New Testament very often at all. Can you think of any references where Isaac is?
Well, yeah, in Galatians, he's in there.
Well, Hagar and Sarah are in there.
Yeah. Through Isaac shall your seed be called. That's in in Galatians.
I'm gonna have to type this into my wrong button into my my search, because he doesn't because Abraham shows up all the time.
Yeah.
But
So James 2:21, was not Abram our father justified by works when he offered up his son Isaac. On the altar?
yeah, so there's and again
References to Isaac in the context of Abram's faith.
Yeah, which to me is something that says our reading of Isaac should be in the context of Abram's faith.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is definitely interesting.
Well, and I think with Abram's faith too, like it seems very, very confident, and it's always struck me this way reading this passage. Abram's very confident when he says, "God will provide for himself a lamb for a burnt offering, my son." And I think, I think with Genesis chapter 20, with Abram's situation with Abimelech, he walks forward by faith. He just keeps plodding forward, and he sees God pull through again and again and again, and protect his wife's honor, deliver his wife from the house of Abimelech, and then all of a sudden he gets so many blessings from these Philistines. And now at this point, he's an older man. He's seen God act so many times that I think Abram, in his head, he knew that either this was the promised son, that this was Jesus Christ, and that God would raise him again from the dead,
Right.
or that that God would pull through and provide the sacrifice.
Yes.
So it's possible, even in Abraham's own mind, that this is the promised son.
Yeah. Yeah, and he knew, and it says that in Hebrews that that
He thought God was going to raise him up.
he thought God was going to raise him up.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
It does say that in
It
Hebrews.
does. And okay, so going back to Isaac in the New Testament, he does show up in his own right in Hebrews
Right.
prominently.
Yes.
Yeah.
In,
So
in Hebrews 11.
yeah, and through Isaac shall your offspring be named.
Yeah.
And by faith, Isaac invoked future blessings on Jacob and Esau. Notice how those names are inverted.
Yeah.
Jacob first and then Esau second.
Yes.
So I mean, he does show up in his own right. Okay, so that's good to note.
Okay, so the stories that happen with regards to Isaac, the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Yep.
Right, those are the big three patriarchs.
Yeah.
Right, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Isaac is always in there. It does seem to me there's ways in which Isaac is kind of the lesser of two mountains on either side, and he's more the valley. But
just because of the volume of content we have about the other two.
yeah, it seems that way. So, chapter 23 of Genesis, we have Sarah's death and burial. We have Abe negotiating with the Hittites for a plot of land. That plot of land shows up all the way to the end of Genesis.
Yep.
It shows up right in the very end of Genesis, where
It's Hebron.
Jacob is on his deathbed, and he says, "There I buried Leah."
Yep.
He says, of this down payment of the land that God promised to you, Abram. Well, here's the first of it that you actually own, and it's a burial plot.
Yeah. A little corner of a little field. Yeah. To the east of Mamre, which it keeps coming up again and again in Genesis.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, if you were to go to visit Hebron today, that little field is somewhere there, probably buried under a city.
Yeah.
But it's there somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. This is a real place.
Okay. So there's a long sector in here about Abram sending his servant
Yes.
back to Paddan Aram to go and find a wife
Yes.
for Isaac. Something about Isaac. It seems important for some reason in God's plan that Isaac never leave the land.
Yeah, we don't have any record of him doing that, do we?
Isaac spends his time in either Israel proper or in Philistia, just to the south border, which is kind of Israel as well.
Yeah.
That's where he spends his life. He's not supposed to go over there. Someone else has to go over there to get him a wife. He's not supposed to go down to Egypt.
Yep.
He's supposed to stay there. So there's something going on with that,
Yeah.
about Isaac being a man in the land. So a great long tale of Isaac going and finding Rebekah.
Via the means of the servant.
Yes.
What I really love about the servant is his prayer
Yeah.
when he gets where he's going.
Yeah.
Where he's, "O Lord, God of my master Abraham, please grant me success today and show steadfast love to my master Abraham, behold, I am standing by the spring of water, and the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. And then he says, let the young woman to whom I shall say, please let down your jar that I may drink, and who shall say, drink, and I will water your camels, let her be the one you have appointed for your servant Isaac. So this dude he's Abram's trusted servant.
Yeah.
He's probably an old fellow.
Yeah.
Because he's been around. He's served.
Probably the guy who who's going to inherit.
Yeah, if Isaac doesn't.
Probably.
Yeah. So this is a guy, he's acting against his own financial interest. Because if Isaac inherits, this guy won't.
Yeah.
And but here he goes off on this journey, and he gets to his destination, and the first thing he does is he starts praying. Mm-hmm. Abraham has done something right here.
Yeah.
When the men in his household, they begin their work with prayer.
Yeah.
No, this I find is just, and then the Lord answers his prayer exactly as he said. Look, this is what I need from you, God. Mm-hmm. And God was like, okay, yeah.
Rebecca is quite an Abrahamic character. Mm-hmm. She's very much like him.
Yes.
When God speaks to Abram, Abram acts and he rearranges his life in order with what God said. Yep. Same thing happens with Rebecca.
Yeah, she's decisive.
Yeah.
And she constantly.
Very much so.
Yeah. She's always doing. She's very active in the story. She's not a passive cipher.
Yes. So here comes Rebecca into the mix. She becomes quite important in the moving of things as this story goes along.
That's chapter 24.
Yep.
Yeah, chapter 24. It's a long chapter. There's like 67 verses. Yeah.
Well, and it's also there's certain details in here that are just like this. Just it writes so well into a movie, right? Like the servant prays, and before he had finished speaking, this woman, this hot young lady, just wanders out with her jar.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, let's. Can you give me some water, please? And she's like, yeah, sure. Here's the water, and then. I'll get water for your camels until they finish.
Camels drink a lot of water.
They do. They're
so she must have been pretty strong too. Then.
Yeah, I mean, and then
strong, resourceful, and in a hurry.
Yeah, and so she quickly
very attractive in appearance.
Yeah, she quickly empties her jar, runs to the well to get water.
Yeah, it says she runs.
Yeah, she runs. This is a total stranger.
Yeah,
she's running for water. And the man, gazed at her in silence to learn whether the Lord had prospered his journey or not. So he's sitting there completely dumbfounded. He's like, I just finished praying. So I just showed up. I just finished praying. And what is happening?
Yeah, this is a great story. Yeah. I love this story.
Oh, it is. It is. And then... when these camels finish drinking, and I can't imagine how much water a camel can drink. It must be a lot.
And it's camels.
Camels. It's not one. It's many.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, please tell me whose daughter you are. Is there room in your father's house for us to spend the night? She's like, daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor. So immediately this is a relative. And then she added, she's going above and beyond in every instance. Mm-hmm. She runs for water. Now she adds, and we have plenty of straw and fodder and room to spend the night. Mm-hmm. Right? She's just like, yeah, we got lots of stuff. You come on over. It'll be great. We'll have a good time.
Good old Mesopotamian hospitality.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that Rebecca maybe remembered stories that might have been told her when she was young? Maybe.
I don't know.
Because she might have heard of the story of Abraham. It might have been deep in the family lore, how Abraham packed up and left and went off following the word of this God.
Yeah, but
how does God draw a person?
Yeah, in a variety of ways.
Right? Yeah. He draws a person through many and various different ways.
Yeah.
And I wonder how he drew Rebecca, because when the servant comes in and he says, okay, well, I don't even want to eat. I want to tell you why I'm here.
Yeah, let's talk first.
And then they find out about this, and they go ask Rebecca, are you willing to go with this guy? And she's ready to go.
Instantly.
Well, how did that happen?
I don't know. The Holy Spirit?
Well, it was the Holy Spirit, definitely. But was it the Holy Spirit just all of a sudden instantaneous, or was it the Holy Spirit that used knowledge that she had earlier?
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
It is,
but that would have been part of family history. That story of Abe leaving and going off out, and everyone thinks he's crazy because he just left.
Yeah,
and we haven't heard from him since.
Well, and you see in verses 34 to 41, there the servant is basically explaining, "I'm Abraham's servant, and Sarah, my master's wife, bore a son to my master."
Yeah.
So obviously, there's still knowledge of Abraham and Sarah among
they're just
that family.
Yeah, they're just finding out that now Abram has a son who needs a wife.
Yeah.
So maybe they had some older family stories, not recent news.
It wouldn't have been recent news. It would have been long ago news.
Yeah, but
they remember Sarah, and they probably can do math too. And
they're just sitting.
What?
And it's interesting. It seems like Laban and Rebecca are God-fearers. Mm-hmm. So they both fear the same God.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There maybe some of
maybe.
That.
Yeah. Because Laban later on, he's got household gods, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right?
So maybe there was a mix of both.
Yeah. Well, I think that he knew Yahweh's name because of what Abe had said.
Yeah.
Before he left, he knew that name. I don't think he knew Yahweh.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of really cool things here. Like, Rebecca just jumps.
Yeah.
At this proposal, even though she's never seen Isaac.
Yeah.
Doesn't know him from a hole in the ground, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm definitely going to jump on a camel with a stranger."
Yeah.
She's, like you said, very much like Abram, and I'm going to leave my father's house
and go into a land of which I know not.
Yes. To inherit a promise.
To inherit a promise.
Of which I know not. Yeah. So she's very much like Abram.
So she wanted to get out of her brother Laban's house.
Yeah, well,
that too.
But it is funny too that before they could even show hospitality to the servant, he's like, "I got to tell you why I'm here."
Yeah,
like that's very. That's not how even a modern Eastern society works. That's not how our societies work. Like if I invite you over for dinner, and I'm like, "Hey, we're going to eat at like 6."
Right.
We don't sit down at 5:50 and then be like, "Okay, we have to talk about business."
Right.
We just don't do it. We're like, "No, the business can wait until after the food."
Yeah.
Right? And after we've had a glass of wine and we've had a pleasant family dinner, we'll talk about the business later. That's how we do things even today.
Right.
And then you've got this guy, he's like, "Nah, food can wait. Food can wait, business first." And it's interesting too, the servant, he shows up and immediately his prayer's answered.
Yeah.
Immediately he praises God, right? He immediately is like, "Blessed be the Lord, the God of my master Abraham," right? "Who has not forsaken his steadfast love and faithfulness towards my master." Then immediately they get into the house and he's like, "Okay, business." And then immediately they're negotiating. I'm like, did the food get cold? You've got this. "I will not eat until I have said what I have to say." So this man's traveled a long distance.
Yeah.
And now
it's at least 2 weeks to get there on a camel.
Right. And so he basically takes care of the camels, and then he's like, the food is set before him, and he's like, "Not touching this until we talk." And then you have the negotiation, which I think is pretty much the rest of the chapter.
Right.
Before they get to the food.
Yeah. It's interesting to see who does the negotiating too.
Yeah, it's Laban.
Laban does the negotiating and not Bethuel, her father.
Yeah, though he was present.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and just a random thing I just noticed. I was kind of following a train of cross references. So in verse 59, it mentions that Rebecca, their sister, and her nurse go along with Abraham's servant and his men.
Who's your nurse?
The nurse is Deborah. So she's mentioned in chapter 35, verse 8.
Yes.
Her death is specifically referenced.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
I was like, that's really interesting and random. I never noticed that before.
Wow. Who is this Deborah? Yeah. What? What?
Yeah.
You get these details.
Yeah, there's all kinds of little details like that in there.
It's amazing how
And they
detailed.
show up.
Yeah, it's incredibly detailed.
Yeah. It's crazy. I love it. So we're at an hour and 4 minutes thus far.
Let's.
How should we finish?
Can we just deal with Abram's death?
Yeah.
And then next
Yeah.
time we start, we can start with the birth of Esau and Jacob.
That's a good way.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. Okay.
So Abram, it says in Hebrews, did not regard God. He didn't regard it as a problem for God that he should be a father of children, even though it says he was as good as dead.
Right.
Even though maybe Abe regarded himself that way, I think it does say that of him in Hebrews, that he was as good as dead. He was 100 years old when Isaac was born.
Yeah.
Well, in this story, when he sends the servant off to go find a wife for Isaac, this is 40 years later. Because
Yeah.
Isaac is 40 years old when Rebecca comes, right? So he's 140. And he's, you get the sense that he's at home and that he's sick and that he doesn't know that he's going to survive long. He seems like he's in the similar situation to Isaac later.
Right. Except.
And he gives instruction. There's this one remaining outstanding covenant issue that needs to be dealt with before I go off the stage.
Yep.
I've got to get a wife for Isaac. That's got to happen.
Yep.
And so he's kind of stressed about it, but it's almost like he's on his deathbed, or you sort of get that sense.
Right.
You know, put your hand under my thigh and swear to me. Oh, you get the sense he's probably in bed. But whatever the case might be,
Chapter 25.
Chapter 25, load lifted,
Yep.
promise fulfilled.
Yep.
Abe gets up out of his stupor. Sarah has died 3 years earlier. That's another great stupor inducer to an old man.
Yep.
His wife of 100 years.
Dying.
She's been his wife for a long, long time. Dies. But all the responsibilities taken off. He goes and marries again.
Yeah. Keturah.
Keturah, and he has 6 children
Crazy.
with her. So he was at least 144 before any of those children were born.
Wow.
So he was as good as dead when he was 100. And now he comes back and he fathers 6 more children.
Yeah. If I am so active at that age, wow. Yeah, it's and it's interesting because you've got Midian coming out of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Midian,
Yeah.
another son of Abraham.
And you've got Kedar coming out of this.
Yep.
In the stories about the bringing of gifts to the young Messiah, when the wise men come bearing frankincense and gold and myrrh, Isaiah talks a bit about that, about the bringing of those gifts, and in Isaiah, I think it's chapter 60 or 61, he references the people that are bringing such gifts, and they're Ishmael's kids.
Yep.
They're connected to Abraham. These ones who are bringing gifts from afar. So it's interesting. You know, God makes promises to Abram. And through Isaac your seed will be called, but I'm going to make a nation out of Ishmael, and I'm also going to bless these other ones that come along later.
That's in Isaiah 60, verse 6. Yeah.
So I'm looking at verse 9, and it looks like Ishmael, from wherever he was wandering, came back, and together
came back for the funeral.
they buried Dad.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's another, because Jacob and Esau do the same thing
yeah,
with Isaac.
Yeah, they gather late when Isaac's 180 years old.
Yeah.
The two of them bury him.
Yeah. So the sons of his concubines, at least, he sends away while he's still living. So they probably didn't participate in the funeral then.
Yeah, they may not have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it does say that he sent them away with
Gifts.
with gifts. So it's with something. Now, you got to remember how fantastically wealthy Abraham was.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, fantastically
Wealthy
wealthy.
and powerful.
Yep. So, yeah, and then, so he lived to the age of 175 years, breathed his last and died in a good old age, an old man and full of years.
An old man and full of years.
And Isaac and Ishmael, his sons, buried him in the cave of Machpelah in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar the Hittite, east of Mamre.
Yeah. In the plot of land that Abram actually owned in this promised land.
Yep.
Okay. Well, there's lots of excellent stuff that goes on, and it really is hard to take a flyby and go over.
Yeah.
Lots of detail to deal with.
And we're still
we will
flying
take
by.
it up next time in our Genesis series. We'll take up with the birth of Esau and Jacob.
I thought we'd only get to chapter 22, but we got to chapter 25.
We actually did okay.
Well, yeah, we
moved
kind
a
of
little ways.
we kind of hop and skip and jump, you see.
Yeah, which I think is probably good. It really is good and useful to talk through the things that are in the scriptures, to talk through these stories. To God gives us all kinds of teaching and instruction, and he does so through stories like this. And we have to interpret them. We have to read them. We have to think about them. We have to study, and we start to learn God's ways and his will, and we start to get a better grasp of who God is, because God is revealing himself through these things. And there's so much excellent food to feast on in the book of Genesis. So it's our delight to be able to share this conversation with you all. It is our prayer for you that you too would walk with the Lord Jesus, that you would love him, that you would love his church, that you would participate in her, root yourself in there. This is God's home on earth is his church. He wants you, oh believer, there. He wants you as a part of things. So do go to church and pay attention. Read your Bible a lot. Study it. Meditate on it. And may you grow in grace and in the knowledge of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.